Let's get right into it. Number 10. The Liminal Lullaby. You check into your hotel room. It's perfectly clean, ostensibly comfortable, and yet something feels off. There's a subtle, almost imperceptible hum in the air, a stillness that feels heavier than silence. This, my friends, is the liminal lullabies, and it's one of the primary design flaws that makes hotels feel inherently creepy. Liminal refers to a transitional space, a threshold. Hotels are the epitome of liminality. They're places where people constantly come and go, never truly settling. They're designed to be generic, universally appealing, but in doing so, they strip away the comforting familiarity of a personal space. Every room looks the same. The art is bland, and there's often a muted, ambient noise from ventilation systems, ice machines down the hall, or distant conversations that never quite resolve. Your brain, accustomed to the unique sensory signature of your home, the smell of your own couch, the familiar creak of a specific floorboard, the exact pitch of your refrigerator's hum, is suddenly dropped into a sensory void that's almost familiar but fundamentally alien. This lack of distinctive personal cues creates a low-grade cognitive dissonance. It's like your brain is constantly asking, where am I? Why don't I recognize this? This unsettling anonymity, combined with the low, persistent background sounds that your brain can't quite identify, creates a subtle sense of unease, a feeling that you're in a place that's not quite real, or perhaps a place where reality itself is a little thin. It's the sound of nothing being too quiet. Number 9. The Corridor Cascade. You step out of your room into the hotel corridor, and suddenly, you're in a seemingly endless tunnel. Identical doors stretch out on either side, receding into the distance, often with identical carpet patterns and subdued lighting. This is the Corridor Cascade, a design choice that, while efficient for hotels, is an absolute masterclass in subtle psychological horror. Our brains are designed to make sense of our environment, to identify landmarks and gauge distances. Hotel corridors, however, are deliberately monotonous. They lack distinct features, creating a sense of visual repetition that can be disorienting. Every door looks the same, making it easy to lose your bearings, especially after a long journey or in the middle of the night. This repetition can also trigger a feeling of being trapped or lost, even if you know your room number. Furthermore, the often dim, indirect lighting can create long, shifting shadows that play tricks on your peripheral vision, making you think something is lurking at the end of the hall. It's like a real-life Escher painting, designed to make you question your spatial awareness. The silence of an empty corridor can be particularly unsettling, amplifying every distant creak or whisper, making your brain fill in the blanks with something ominous. So, that feeling of unease as you walk down a hotel hallway, it's not a ghost, it's just really bad interior design, messing with your primal sense of direction and safety. Number 8. The Generic Gloom. Step into almost any chain hotel room, and you'll immediately notice a distinct aesthetic. Muted tones, bland artwork, utilitarian furniture. This isn't just cost-cutting, it's the Generic Gloom. A deliberate design choice aimed at universal appeal that paradoxically strips away warmth and personality, making rooms feel unsettling. Hotels try to avoid anything too specific or polarizing, so they default to beige, gray, and neutral shades. The art on the walls is usually abstract or generic landscapes, designed not to offend but also not to inspire. This lack of personal touch, of anything unique or lived in, creates a psychological void. Your brain, which thrives on unique identifiers and personal artifacts in a living space, finds itself in a sterile environment that feels unmoored from human history or individual presence. It's like walking into a showroom that's perpetually waiting for someone to move in, but no one ever truly does. This emotional emptiness can make the space feel cold, unwelcoming, and subtly unsettling. There's no soul to the room, no evidence of past inhabitants beyond the perfectly made bed, which often feels more like a stage prop than a place of comfort. So, that feeling of eerie detachment in your hotel room isn't because it's haunted, it's because it's been meticulously sanitized of anything that could possibly make it feel like home. And sometimes, sterile is scarier than messy. Number 7. The sound of silence and its opposite. You're trying to drift off to sleep in your hotel room. It's either unnervingly silent, the kind of silence that amplifies every internal creak of the building and every distant hum of the ventilation system, or it's filled with the muffled, indistinguishable sounds of other people's lives. A faint TV from next door, footsteps above, the gentle rumble of a suitcase wheeling down the hall. This is the sound of silence and its opposite. and it's a masterclass in auditory unease. Our brains are highly attuned to sound, constantly interpreting it to understand our environment. In a hotel, the sounds are often inconsistent and ambiguous. The too quiet moments allow your brain to hyper-focus on subtle structural noises, the expansion and contraction of pipes, the almost imperceptible sway of the building, the groan of an elevator shaft. Your brain, lacking concrete data, starts filling in the blanks, often with something ominous. Then, there are the muffled human sounds, voices you can't quite decipher, laughter that sounds oddly hollow, crying that could be anything. Your brain is trying to make sense of these fragmented auditory clues, but without context, they become unsettling. It's like hearing whispers from behind a closed door, never knowing their origin or meaning. This auditory ambiguity prevents your brain from fully relaxing, keeping you in a state of low-level vigilance, always waiting for the next inexplicable noise. It's not a ghost whispering, it's just really bad soundproofing playing tricks on your overactive imagination. Number 6. The mirror's malicious gaze. You've likely experienced it at home, the subtle unease of a mirror reflecting a dark hallway, or perhaps just catching your own reflection unexpectedly. But in a hotel, mirrors are often placed in the most interesting locations, right opposite the bed, perhaps, or strategically positioned to reflect the bathroom door or a shadowy corner. This is the mirror's malicious gaze, a design choice that weaponizes our primal fear of reflections and observation. As we've discussed before, our brains are unnerved by reflections, especially when they're in our peripheral vision or in unexpected places. In a hotel room, you're in an unfamiliar space and your brain is already on higher alert. A large mirror directly across from the bed can make you feel constantly watched, even when you know it's just your own reflection. In the dead of night, if you wake up disoriented, that sudden glimpse of a figure in the mirror can trigger a fight or flight response before your conscious mind catches up. The distortion caused by dim lighting can also make your reflection seem alien or malevolent, tapping into deep-seated fears of doppelgangers or supernatural entities. It's like the hotel designers deliberately put a psychological jump scare in your sleep space. It's not a spirit observing you, it's just a strategically placed piece of glass exploiting your brain's ancient anxieties about being seen when you're most vulnerable. Sweet dreams. Number 5. The generic smell syndrome. You walk into a hotel lobby, then your room, and immediately you're hit with it. That distinctive, vaguely floral, vaguely chemical, utterly generic hotel smell. It's an attempt to create a clean and pleasant atmosphere, but for your subconscious, it triggers the generic smell syndrome, and it's surprisingly unsettling. Our sense of smell is powerfully linked to memory and emotion. Familiar scents provide comfort and a sense of place, but hotel smells are designed to be universally inoffensive, which often means they are blandly artificial and lack any true character. Your nose picks up on this manufactured scent, which is constantly present but carries no personal significance or natural origin. It's a smell that belongs to no one and everyone. A sensory equivalent of the generic gloom, this lack of a unique, comforting olfactory signature can contribute to the feeling of being in an anonymous, impersonal space. Worse still, sometimes this generic scent is trying to mask other, less pleasant odors, stale air, cleaning chemicals, or the faint lingering traces of previous occupants. Your brain might pick up on these underlying, unpleasant notes, even if subtly, triggering a low-level disgust response that translates into a feeling of unease. It's not the scent of a spectral presence, it's just the unfortunate aroma of mass-produced neutrality, which paradoxically makes the air feel heavy and artificial. Number 4. The impersonal touches. You're in your hotel room, and you reach for the remote, or the alarm clock, or the ubiquitous Bible in the drawer. Every item is perfectly aligned, sanitized, and utterly devoid of personal history. No stray hairs, no forgotten notes, no worn edges that speak of human touch. This is the effect of the impersonal touches, and it's a subtle but powerful contributor to that haunted feeling. In our homes, every object tells a story. The worn armchair, the overflowing bookshelf, the haphazardly placed coaster, these are the imprints of human lives. Hotels, by design, strip all that away. Everything is meticulously cleaned, reset, and made to look as if no one has ever truly lived in the space. Your brain, accustomed to finding these small, humanizing details, encounters a sterile environment that feels almost too perfect, too devoid of life. This absence of personal artifacts creates a sensory deprivation for your social cognition. It's like a stage set after the actors have left, leaving behind an eerie stillness. You know countless people have slept in that bed, sat on that chair, used that remote, but there's no lingering evidence of their individual presence. This lack of human imprint can make the space feel transient, almost ephemeral, as if people merely pass through it like ghosts themselves. It's not a lingering spirit, it's just the unsettling silence of absent humanity. Number 3. The echo of absent minds. You settle into your hotel bed, pull the covers up, and your mind starts to wander. You think about the hundreds, maybe thousands, of people who have slept in this very bed, breathed this very air, had their dreams and nightmares in this exact spot. This conscious or subconscious awareness creates the echo of absent minds, and it's a truly unsettling psychological phenomenon. While there's no scientific evidence of residual energy from past occupants, your imagination is a powerful tool. Knowing that so many lives, so many emotions, so many private moments have unfolded in that exact space, your brain can't help but populate it with these invisible presences. It's not a traditional haunting with actual spirits, it's a psychological haunting, where your own mind creates the sense of an unseen crowd. You might subconsciously attribute sounds to phantom footsteps, or shadows to lingering figures, simply because you know the space has contained so many others. This can be amplified by stress or lack of sleep, making your imagination even more vivid. It's like an empty theater, which feels strangely full because you know it's meant to hold an audience. The more aware you are of the transient nature of a hotel and the sheer volume of souls that have passed through it, the more your own mind can project an unsettling sense of crowded loneliness into the void. Number 2. The temporal dislocation. You've just arrived in a new time zone, or maybe you're just experiencing the general disorientation that comes with travel. Your internal clock is completely out of whack, and your body doesn't know whether it's dawn or dusk. This is temporal dislocation, and it's a prime ingredient in the recipe for hotel creepiness. Hotels exist outside of normal time. There's often no natural light in the corridors, and the room service operates at all hours. You might wake up in the middle of the night and have no idea what time it truly is without checking your phone. This lack of consistent environmental cues regarding the time of day messes with your circadian rhythms and your brain's natural sense of rhythm and predictability. When your internal clock is confused, your brain can go into a low-grade state of alert, as if it's lost its bearings. This disorientation can manifest as general unease, anxiety, or even mild paranoia. Your body isn't sure when it should be awake or asleep, when it should be hungry or not. This internal chaos can make you more susceptible to strange perceptions and heightened sensitivity to ambient noises or visual tricks. It's like your brain is suffering from perpetual jet lag, making it prone to misinterpretations and unsettling sensations. So, that feeling of unreality in a hotel room, it's not an otherworldly portal, it's just your body's biological clock throwing a tantrum. Number 1. The unseen housekeeping's touch. You leave your hotel room in the morning, perhaps with a slight mess, a personal item carelessly left on the bed. You return hours later, and everything is pristine. Your pajamas are folded, the bed is perfectly made, and the minibar is restocked. But you never saw anyone, you didn't hear them. This pervasive, yet invisible, service creates the unseen housekeeping's touch, and it's perhaps the most subtly creepy design flaw of all. In your own home, you're the master of your domain. You know who cleans it, and when, in a hotel, strangers enter and organize your personal space without your direct knowledge or interaction. It's a necessary service, yes, but it fundamentally violates our ingrained sense of privacy and control over our immediate environment. Your brain, on a subconscious level, is aware that while you were out, someone else was in your space, touching your belongings, imposing order. This constant, invisible reordering, the subtle moving of your things, can feel like a benign invasion. It's like a benevolent, silent phantom is tidying up after you, leaving no trace but the evidence of their work. This lack of direct control over who enters your private space, combined with the uncanny way it's reset, can make the room feel less like yours and more like a perpetually reset stage, reinforcing the feeling that you are merely a temporary occupant in a transient, impersonal world. It's not a ghost making your bed, it's just excellent and terrifyingly invisible. Customer service. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.